Welcome. Thank you very much for those of you that are following our lessons. Today we're going to discuss a very important topic which is very much helpful and very much useful, especially when you are writing. The topic that we're going to discuss today would be on homophones. So we're going to look at the definitions, and then we're going to give you some examples in sentences and also their meanings. So now let us start looking at the definition first. What are homophones? Now, if you look at this, you have two words, homo and phones. So homo means the same, phones mean sound. So in English grammar, homophones are words with similar or almost similar pronunciation, but which are different in meaning, spellings, or origin. That is to say, the two words may sound the same or very near, but if you look at their spelling and their origin, might be different. So in other words, you can also say homophones are a group of words that sound the same when they are said aloud, but have different spelling and meaning. There can also be different parts of speech. For instance, this word could be a noun and the other word could be a verb. If you look at this example that we have, they sound similar, but they belong to different parts of speech. If you look at this word, it's a verb, while this one is a noun. So when you are using them in sentence, you have to understand them so that you can use them accurately. For example, you said, I advise him to work hard. Now, in this sentence, you need to use this word. You cannot use this one because this one is a noun and this one is a verb. So if you look at the structure of the sentence here, you have the subject I, which should be followed by a verb. So by mistake, if you write this one, I advise him, grammatically will be wrong because you cannot have a subject followed by another noun. So what you need to have after the subject, you need a verb. Therefore, you say, I advise him using this spelling A-D-V-I-S-E. So if you look at them, this one ends in S-E and this other one ends in C-E. So the one ends in S-E is the verb and the one ends in C-E is the noun. So in usage, you can say, I advise him to work hard. Mr. Cisse always gives his students advice. Now, in this case, you use the noun form. You cannot use this one because this will be the verb form. So you are expected here to use this one. But if you look at them in pronunciation, they sound almost the same, but in usage they are different. In spellings they are different. And of course, they also belong to different parts of speech. So we move on. So when using a word that is a homophone, it is important to know the meaning for each word so you can choose the one you want. Let's take example another one. We have this word T-H-I-R and T-H-E-R. These two words are homophones because they sound the same, but they mean differently and they belong to different parts of speech. So when you don't know their meaning, you may use them wrongly. For example, you said, this is their house. In this case, this is completely wrong. Because what do you need here? Pronouns. And this one is not a pronoun. In that case, we expect you to write, this is there. Instead of using this one, this is the one that you should use. So you say, this is their house. Now, looking at the other one, when you make a sentence like this, I saw him there. We expect you to use this one. Therefore, this one is referring to a place, and this one is a pronoun. So you say, I saw him there, not I saw him there with this one. This is why we said, when using a word that is a homophone, it is important to know the meaning for each word so you can choose the one you want. Otherwise, you can use them wrongly. Now let us move on. We look at more homophones and some examples of more homophones. Now, if you look at these words on the board, that you have them, not, peel, bought, steal, waste, piece, whole. All these words are homophones, but actually they have different meaning and they also have different spelling. Now look at this word, P-I-E-C-E and P-E-C-E. Both of them are pronounced as peace, but of course if you look at them, they have different spellings, and in usage also they are different. Now let's take example. You said, he gave me a piece of advice. He gave me a piece of advice. Good. So we come here. We use this word P-I-E-C-E. But this one also we said we need peace in our society. Is that good? So if you look at these two words, they are pronounced the same, but in usage they have different usage. So here you said, he gave me a piece of advice. And here you said, we need peace. Is that understood? Right. So same thing, we can use S-U-N and S-O-N. Son. The two words are pronounced the same, but actually they have the same, they have different spelling, and of course they mean differently. Now let's take this example, sun. The sun is very hot today. Okay, we said Omar is standing in the sun. So we expect you to use this one, S-U-N, and here also we expect you to use this one. But when we come to this one, we're referring to a person. For instance, you said your son. Okay, you said Buba is my first son. You do this. All right? Or you said Omar is my second son. So you can see, you cannot use S-U-N when you are referring to this. You cannot say Buba is my first son like this. So most of the time, students, you make these mistakes when you are writing a letter. For instance, we ask you to write a letter to your father. Most of you, if you are writing your conclusion, instead of writing your son like this, with S-O-N, many a times, some of you will write S-U-N. So when you use S-U-N, son, you are not referring to this one. Therefore, you are not writing the right word. Although in pronunciation is correct, but in writing is wrong. So what do you say? You remove this, you say your son, comma, and then you say Buba. Is that good? Okay. So let's move on. Now study these homophones and their meaning. Let's get this one. No. and NO. If you look at this, it's a verb, and this one is an adverb. What is the meaning of this one is to know something. How about this one? It's used in negative answers. For example, you do this, I know the teacher's name. All right? So in that case, you cannot write, I know the teacher's name. What we expect you to write is, I know with K-N-O-W, not N-O. This is completely wrong. Now this other one, it is an adverb and it is used in negative answer. For instance, if I ask you a question, did you attend the party last night? You said, no, I did not. No, I didn't attend the party. Now the same thing also, when you are answering that question, you are not expected to use this one because it doesn't work. Is that good? Now we move on, we have another one again, lose, which is verb. The other one is a verb, the other one is adjective. So if you look at this one, the one that is verb means to be unable to find someone or something. So the one which is adjective means not tied, not held together tightly. For instance, you said lose the knot, and the knot or the knot was loose. So we look at the other one, right, which is adjective, R-I-G-H-T, meaning something correct, and the other one, W-R-I-T, which is a verb, which means to write something. For example, you do this, I write a letter every day. Okay, the other one, he said, what Omar said was right. So you can see, you cannot use W-R-I-T here, will be wrong. And the same thing here, you cannot also use R-I-G-H-T, it will also be wrong. So we expect you to use the right word in their right places. So we move on. So we have another one, as I give you in my previous examples when I started, like T-H-E-I-R, and the other one is T-H-E-R-E. So this is adjective, all right, and this other one is adverb referring to a place. For instance, I saw him there, or I passed him there. So we move on. Now here we have more examples. We look at this one, H-E-A-R and H-E-R-E. So this one is a verb, means to be aware of sound. And this one is an adverb referring to a specific location. For example, when you are using this one, you say, I live here. In this case, you are referring to a place. But this one, you said, I didn't hear what he said. And we expect you to use H-E-A-R. So you cannot use H-E-R-E when you are referring to this one. Neither you cannot use also this one here. You cannot say, I live here. Instead, that would be wrong. Instead, you should say, I live here. The same thing, you cannot say, I didn't hear, but we expect you to say, I didn't hear. So we move on to, which is adverb, and the other two, which is referring to number 2. So we also have allow an adjective, which is to permit, and of course, and we also have another one, which is an adverb, out loud or with noise. We say the teacher asked me to read the story aloud. And the other one, we said pets are not allowed in this motel. So when we say pets are not allowed, meaning pets are not permitted in this motel. Or we said boys are not allowed to enter girls' dormitory, meaning boys are not permitted to enter. So the other allowed means with noise. For instance, said, the teacher asked me to read the story aloud. So the other one we have it bare uncovered meaning naked. We said his bare arms quickly became sunburned. So the other one bare means to endure or to support. He said, I can't bear to go another hour without water. So you can see these words, when you pronounce them, they sound the same, but in usage they mean differently. So that is why we call them homophones. The same sound, but different spelling, different meanings, and of course sometimes different parts of speech. As we can see them in the examples, some are verb, others are adverb, some are noun, others are adjectives. All right, so we move on and we'll see more examples. Now, we still have more examples. We have bought and bought. So one is noun, the other one is a verb, and the other one is adjective. And each of them means differently. When you use B-O-A-R-D, could be a noun, at the same time could be a verb. All right? So the noun form would mean a plank. We need to replace the board under the window. For instance, some of our classrooms, we normally use plank as our chalkboard. That is the noun form. So, but the other one, which is the verb form, it is used to mean to get on. Example, we said passengers will be asked to board the plane in 30 minutes. I bought a vehicle from Serekunda to Banjul. The other one, which is adjective, referring to something boring, something uninterested. For instance, I grew bored during the mayor's long speech. Or in the other way, we can say students were bored during the lectures because it was not interesting. So you can see these two words, B-O-A-R-D, could be a noun. B-O-A-R-D could also be a verb. Therefore, one word could be a noun, at the same time could be a verb. So how do you know that this word is a noun and this word is a verb? That can only be known if you use them contextually. But if you didn't use them contextually, you might not know. Is that good? So we move on to the next one. Good. We have this one, break and break. B-R-A-K-E and B-R-E-K. So this one, a device for slowing down a vehicle. Like you're driving your vehicle and then you decided to stop somewhere. What do? You apply the brake. You riding your bicycle and then you decided to stop somewhere. What do? You apply the brake. So you say, my car needs new brakes. All right? To run or use a brake, be sure to brake before you run into the garage. So the other one means break, to smash or to divide into parts. Please don't break my new dishes, or don't break the glasses. Is that good? So we have another one also, capital, and sen. So if you look at the first one, it's a noun, and the other one also is a noun. Despite the fact that they are spelled differently, they belong to the same parts of speech, but they mean differently. Let's get the first example. We said the city where the government is located. That means capital. Now, Paris is the capital of France. Highly important. Always begin your name with a capital letter. So if you look at the word, the first word, capital, could mean a city. It could also mean something very important. And sometimes also it could mean also something opposite. For instance, he was given a capital punishment. So you can see word will be spelled differently, but will be pronounced the same way and will have also different meaning. So the other one means the building in Washington in which Congress meets. We said the reporters waited in the Capitol to see the senator. Now we move on to the other one. We have cent, C-E-N-T, a penny. And the other one, send, of course, to cause to go, which is the past tense of go. The two words are pronounced the same, but they mean differently. Now let's get this example, because sometimes we use them wrongly. I asked him to call the teacher. Now if I give you option A, sent, B, sent. In that case, I expect you to use this one. In that case, I expect you to use this one because it's the one that can go. It's the verb, and then after you have a subject, after the subject, you need a verb. You said, I sent him to call the teacher. So the other cent means a penny. Said, I don't have any cent with me. All right? We said the old stock is in what? A cent. So we move on, and then we learn more examples. Good. Die, die. So look at these two words, the IE and the YE. Differently spelled, but sound the same. And of course, they belong to different parts of speech. DIE is a verb. And this other one is a noun. So despite that the two are pronounced the same, they mean different things, and they belong to different parts of speech. So this one is a verb, and this other one is a noun. So what is the meaning of the first one? DIE. It means to pass away. For example, the animal will die without proper nourishment. And this other one, DYE, which is the noun form, doesn't mean die. You cannot say like this, or you cannot write like this. The animal will die. You cannot use this one. So we expect you to use the IE instead of this one. Therefore, you say the animal will die. That's good. So we move on to the next one. So die, the other die, which is noun, means coloring. We use 4 kinds of dye to color our Easter eggs. So you can see this would mean color, and this would mean to cease to survive. So this is a noun, and this a verb. So we have another one, fair, fair. One is adjective, the other one is noun. Which one is the adjective? F-A-I-R. And which one is the noun? F-A-R-E. Do we use them the same? No, because they have different meaning, they have different usage. We said, he is not fair to me. You said, he is not fair to me. So in that case, you cannot use F-A-R-E. It will be completely wrong. Good. When can we use this one? When we say, I paid fair. I paid fair to Serekunda. Good. Here we expect you to use F-A-R-E, not F-A-I-R. We expect you to use F-A-R-E. You said, I pay fair to Serekunda. So this one is a noun, and this other one is an adjective. So we move on. Fit, fit, accomplishment. Both of them are noun. Now look at them again. F-E-A-T and F-E-E-T. So both of them belong to the same parts of speech, which is noun, but they have different spellings, and they also have different meaning. So what do we mean when we say F-E-A-T, feat? Accomplishment, composing an entire symphony is a remarkable feat. And this other one, feet, plural of foot. We said her feet were sore because her shoes were too tight. So you can see they belong to the same parts of speech. Both of them are noun, but they mean differently. So we move on. Good. So we have another one, heard, and another one, heard. So let's get these two words, H-E-A-R-D, and the other one is H-E-R-D, and there is another one also, H-A-R-D. Good. So we move on. This one is the past tense of here. So this one is a noun referring to either a herd of cattle, but this one is the past tense of here. For example, when you say, I heard you well. So we expect you to use this one. You say, I heard you well. You use this one. Or this other one we said, my uncle has a herd of cattle. So the two words are used differently. Is that good? Now we move on. We have another one here, here, heel, heel, weak, and weak. Now let's put emphasis on this one also. Weak and weak. They mean differently. This one is adjective, and this other one is a noun. So we look at this. He said, he is a weak boy, meaning not strong. So it's adjective. So in that case, you cannot use W-E-E-K. Is that good? So we move on. So we said week, a noun referring to the 7-day period. For example, I work 2 days a week. For example, you say, I work 2 days a week. So in that case, you cannot use this word. It will be completely wrong because you are referring to this one. So we move on. Good. So that's the end of the lesson. So let us look at the summary. What do we say? Homophones are words with similar or almost similar pronunciation, but which are different in meaning, spelling, or origin. So we move on. Now let us do this exercise. Read the instructions. Underline the correct homophones in each bracket. Underline the correct homophone in each bracket. Now let's look at them. Sentence 1. Can I go to the party? Now 2. So which of these two words can be used to complete this sentence? Number 2, this is my favorite pair of jeans. So which of these three words that can complete the sentence? Number 3, I sent, S-E-N-T, sent, S-C-E-N-T, sent, C-E-N-T, a letter to my aunt in Vietnam. Number 4, the children got bored during the lecture. Number 5, Mr. and Mrs. Job like to walk in their garden. Number 6, Alice is going to wear his work boots today. Number 7, do you think it is going to rain this afternoon? Number 8, I saw a restaurant just off the road, about a mile back. Number 9, Modus' brother is in a band which plays Gambian music. Number 10, Joanna wants her socks because her toes are cold. Now, if you look at these words, you have in the bracket, they are pronounced the same, or they have similar pronunciation. But if you look at their spellings, differ, and they may also belong to different parts of speech. And of course, they mean differently. So choose the one that can actually complete the sentence. Do that, and then you look at the correction that you have. Now let's move on. We look at the correction. Good. What do we have? Number 1, can I go to the party? 2, you are going, and I'm also requesting whether I can go to. So we expect you to use TOO. Now number 3, this is my favorite pairs of jeans. Now here we expect you to use PAIR, not PEAR, not PARE. Now we move on. Number 4, the children got bored during the lecture. So here we expect you to use BORED because it is the adjective. All right. So the other one says, Mr. and Mrs. Job like to walk in their garden. So you cannot use THERE. Instead, we expect you to use the possessive adjective or the pronouns there. All right. So we said Alice is going to wear EAR, not the other one ARE. Now number 7, do you think it is going to rain? RAIN, that is the word that is supposed to underline. And number 8, I saw a restaurant just off the road. So there we expect you to underline ROAD. Number 9, Modu's brother is in a band which plays Gambian music. So the word that's supposed to be underlined is BAND. And number 10, Joanna wants her socks because her toes are cold. So here we expect you to use TOES. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.